Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be showing off how to play Shiranuis, and this is an excellent example of how you can play the deck. The guy, DeeDee, definitely shows off how you want to play the deck, and it's like the game mechanic of the deck is basically to abuse Mizuki as many times as possible with Cyframe Omega. But anyways, he goes ahead and throws out quick little Beals over here, and this card, it's still a decent card. Now unfortunately with Ignister and Castell in the game and 101, heck, once 101 came out, this card was like not that great, but it still was a really cool card, and certain decks can simply just lose to it if they don't have it out. Mostly like lower tier decks, but against higher tier decks, yeah, unfortunately it just doesn't have the power that it used to have. But anyways, a lot of you guys were interested in building the Shiranus, which are the new Synchro Zombies. And unfortunately, the deck isn't too cheap right now. It kind of is a expensive deck because of, yeah, of course, Cyframe Lord Omega is a pretty popular card, and it's kind of pricey at the moment. But nonetheless, it's going to show you guys how to play the deck, because I know a lot of you guys like zombies, you guys like synchros, and this deck does not pendulum. So if you're not a pendulum fan, maybe you can try out this deck yourself. But like I said, I don't think it's like the highest tiers of decks, but it definitely will be a decent little fun deck. And once you have your setup over here to abuse Cyframe Lord Omega's effect, which is that you get to, during your opponent's standby phase, you can target one banished card and return it to the graveyard. And you can see he's abused Mizuki multiple times over here. Then he goes ahead and busts out the Samurai Saga, then he's going to go ahead and bust out the Shogun Saga, and he's going to get 5,500 attack, which is a pretty decent effect over here. And I'll also give you guys the deck profile if you guys would like to try it out. But he disrespects his one. He could have finished it off a long time ago, but nonetheless, he's just showing you guys how you can play the deck. Like, he's resetting Mizuki so many dang times, and he made it so his opponent had no cards in hand. Now, obviously, if you can keep on going for that play, you can get rid of 3 cards in your opponent's hand, and that's, you know, pretty good. And in addition to that, you're resetting your Mizuki so you can continue going off with your plays. And I know a lot of you guys want a deck profile, so don't worry, I got that for you guys as well. So let's go ahead and actually jump right into the deck profile. So go ahead and throw this up real quick, and let's go to the deck edit. So this is his build. Thanks, DeeDee, for sending this in. And let's go ahead and check out his build. Again, I didn't build it, so credit goes to him. Maybe if you guys want to try to swap out certain cards. You guys know how I feel about Maxi this format. I feel like Maxi is definitely triple this format, especially when you got a combat Pepe. But anyways, let's go and jump right into it. So this can maybe be a stepping stone. I feel like you guys can maybe make suggestions for this deck, but there's some pretty cool, interesting suggestions, or I guess tech cards that we'll talk about. But anyways, first off, he's got 2 copies of Zombie Master, 3 copies of the Bushi, 3 copies of Mizuki, 3 copies of the Spirit Master, 2 Pyramid Turtles. I know it says the Chief Priest, but in the TCG we call him the Spirit Master. And then we have 3 Goblin Zombies, 2 Smiths, 3 copies of Unizombie. This card's really strong. It's all about just sending Mizuki to the graveyard in this deck as quickly as possible. So I think Foolish Burial would also be an option in the deck. Then we have 2 copies of the Spectral Sword, 1 copy of Plague Spreader, 2 Book of Lives, 1 Raigeki, 1 Gold Sark, 1 Burial from a Different Dimension, 1 Call of the Mummy. This card is kind of like Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen, but it's for zombies. And then we have 2 copies of Zombie World. Now, this card is actually really good against Monarchs, and sometimes against certain things that require certain different types in the graveyard. This can completely destroy them. And because it changes everything to zombies, and neither player contributes summon monsters except for zombie type monsters. Next up, we have 2 copies of the Style Synthesis. Then we have 3 copies of the Style Swallow Slash. This one kind of reminds me like an Icarus Attack. And then we have 2 copies of Storming Mirror Force, and I think you can get away with not playing this card. If you guys want to try out the Earth one, I like that one a lot too. And then we have Bottomless and Solemn Warning. There are no notices in this version. I think Notice is an excellent card, but I don't know if he was really going for a budget version, but I feel like with this is probably not budget friendly anyways. Maybe if you happen to have 2 of these out of your pack, that could be really good just to, you know, make it kind of like I said, if you already own this, I would say the deck is relatively budget friendly. But next up we have, for the extra deck, we got Beals, we got the Shiranui Shogun Saga, and then we also have 2 of the Samurai Sagas. And then we have Crimson Blader, which I still think is a pretty decent card against certain things. Because, you know, Mermail still sees some play. Then we have 2 copies of Cypher and Lord Omega, 1 Stardust Spark Dragon, 1 Yazi, 1 Black Rose, 1 Revive King Hades, 1 Doom Kaiser Dragon, 1 101, 1 Castell, and Gaga Cowboy. So hopefully this will give you guys some ideas of how to play the deck. Personally for me, I never really liked the deck because I felt like it was a little bit too slow. I don't think it's that competitive, just as a heads up. But if you guys have suggestions for this deck, I would love to hear them in the comment section below, because my testing with this deck has yielded that it's just not that great when you compare it to what's out in the game. Like, I feel like Mermails, even though Mermails aren't like the highest tier, at least Mermail has that speed, and this deck just doesn't have that speed. As you can see, it takes several turns to get the deck started, and then even when you have your setup, you super win. It's like a win as hard as you can, because when you get triple, like, he's only playing 2 in his extra deck, but I've seen people do this combo, and then they eventually get out 3 Omegas, and they're like, I get rid of 3 of your cards, and I just reset all my Mizukis. And you can get up this card to a decent amount of attack, and then you can, you know, do upwards of 5,000 plus damage from 1 monster, which is pretty strong when you consider most people playing Notices and Warning. They're going to be running out of life points relatively quick, and if they happen to, you know, not finish you off because they negated everything you did with, like, the Solemns, like double Solemn Notice, that puts them at pretty low life points, because, you know, that's you know, 3,000, so basically you attack with this, you win the game. But anyways, thanks DeeDee for sending in that replay. A very awesome way to, I guess, show off, and he kind of disrespected his opponent, and I like seeing that. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys have suggestions for this deck, I would love to hear them. Personally for me, I feel like Foolish Burial could definitely be a card that you play. In addition to that, I feel like Maxi is an excellent card, simply because you got to be able to compete with the meta. And a card like this, there's also the other Mirror Force card. Let's go grab it real quick. It is the Quaking one. So when your opponent monster declares an attack, oh no, this is the face down one. There's the is it the Rippling one? Here it is. This one. I think this one is also very good, because the way that this deck plays is, like, you try to make Omega, and if you use Omega's effect, you can be left with a blank board, and you can shuffle all attack position monsters your opponent controls into the deck, which is a pretty advantageous effect, obviously, especially against Pendulums. You just bam everything back into the deck, and then you'll have your reset Mizuki plays, and on top of that, you'll have your, you know, Omega back in the game. So that could be another card if you guys want to try that out. But yeah, like I said, if you guys have suggestions, let me know. But anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks DeeDee for sending this in. It's been your boy Will Smith, signing out.